Was it because I'm white?
Let me tell you, I have the, do not have access to the Mirum channel.
In my categorization system of what? Oh. Well, there are lower class TV shows and the things that I like. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Well. Lame.
Why is it that, like, when I die, I get my properly shown in the correct Japanese, but in the top right, in the characters' names, they're squares, that's hiragana and kanji, but katakana seems to work with the names.
Such a difficult question. Yeah. Aito Jujitsu.
The other is temp text object. Would it be possible for you in the next build to amend this problem? Because katakana works perfectly, but the kanji and the hiragana have this
It's katakana. Building. best game. Yes!
I can't even survive until my big laser fire. Yet?
The Galactic Heroes, there's a lot of Germans. So I think even the main title film, but like the title as displayed in the show at the beginning in the intro is in German. In fact, the DVD set that I could buy recently is actually titled in
Cryo is bullshit.
Just with shields.
Is Cryo actually supposed to one-shot the small builds or deal with big builds?
Leave me alone. Leave me alone.
Then how is Cryo any different than Plasma? Yeah, but the same niche, it occupies the same space.
Cryo is faster, so it deals with flyers better.
Okay. But it has like the same ballistic arc and uses energy and is
Yes, but Plasma is a lot more hard to hit.
Plasma, it's a lot harder to deal with. I am tired. If only you guys were here. Should not say anything. Kill shots. Kill shots. Well, I guess not, because it's based on the original, but it's going to be less, I guess.
So I expect going into Galactic Heroes again on our rewatch Twitter eventually that we will probably enjoy it a lot more because from the perspective of knowing the characters.
I have a question. When would I pick Plasma over Cryo?
You don't.
When your brain stops working.
You don't?
Plasma sucks.
Fix plasma.
Yeah, wow, incredible. Now it's just a matter of convincing Coach to bring the other devs to vote in favor of it and what to do exactly about it.
Just make plasma twice as big.
Yes, let's do that. Sounds like a great idea.
So small, fast, and fast, and big and small, slow. Oh. More depth with plasma.
You can find plasma at the angle. Scarita. I'm physically tired. This is my last game. Oh, God, yes. It was the most perfect nuke I shot yet. It was just 100% perfect. Yes. Say that. I will pay $1,000 for this game. I'm just kidding.
There are people who spend thousands of dollars on Star Citizen. No, it's this big Kickstarter project.
What are they What's Star Citizen?
Star Citizen is a very big game that has everything, and is sci-fi.
Well, number one, why do they need a Kickstarter if it's so big? Why can't they fund it themselves? And number two, is
Now, very good question.
it better than what movie?
It's a game, not an anime.
Oh, it's still better than what movie last year.
No.
I guess that's why they need to crowdfund it.
score, guys.
What is the highest class anime?
We can outscore 3 times.
Shin Shin.
Is that a hentai there?
Shin-chan?
Shin Chan.
Or Shin-chan? Or Shin-chan? Or Shin-chan?
Shin Chan. Oh no, I died.
Anime? Oh, nice jump spot.
Where he dances with his ass. That's what I remember. And they showed it on TV. That's weird. I remember seeing that when I was young.
What are they airing in the Netherlands? What the heck? That would never be on my
There was no Shin-chan in America.
Like, apparently not. You Europeans are awfully liberal about your indecencies.
Well, at that time, American parents were very fragile and selective of what to choose for their dear children.
Yes. It was a better time.
What?
It was a better time. You know how I know that?
No.
Because I used to work at an arcade. And in this arcade, there was this laser tag area. Do you know what laser tag is?
Yes.
Okay. Well, basically, it's kind of dark. But we would go inside to make sure everything was going alright. But when I walked in, I saw there was this little girl twerking. And I guess one of her friends filming her with her phone and uploading it. I'm like, why are you... What have we come to? We have like these, probably like a 10-year-old girl twerking, having it posted online. Like, what have we come to as a culture?
We have come to be the culture of having...
Vader, are you done?
I am done.
Stop rushing the Europeans. It didn't work last time.
I am Oscar.
Actually, it did work last time. But back in my day, that never would have happened.
Yes, but back in your day, feminism was born.
Well, that doesn't matter. It's in the past. Are you a feminist, Todd?
I don't really fucking care.
Nice map. What is that supposed to mean? I mean, what is like this map?
We're tired of you winning.
Go.
We're gonna keep on winning. We're gonna win so much. We're gonna get tired of winning.
Yes. I guess if Trump loses, his supporters are tired of it. Let's see. Excuse. I hate tired of winning. What was that?
I hate this man. It's squished. Oh no, I fucked up. the shields entirely.
You really want to stay in the shield? You guys want us to come? No, screw that. We're the fairground. Not walking in the territory.
I did leave that.
Targeting is so slow. I can't even use my entire jump frame because the ceiling is so low.
Go farther, not higher.
It's not good. Alright. I'll meet you.
What like that?
Today we're talking about subjectivity and objectivity.
Why didn't I fire? I played. Oh, I'm sorry. How do I see invisible teammates?
You don't.
I didn't want to stop crying out.
Too low for regular atomics.
I used to think that few man's Fire Lord. Yes, through here.
Oh, the Führer, like the German thing.
Yes. I thought it meant Fire Lord.
The Führerlord.
Through here. Ugh.
It's kinda ironic that Pure uses the cheesiest weapons, even though he's the developer, but I guess he has to test them. Sorry, but I still think that Cryo's bullshit.
In a good way or bad way?
In a bad way.
As in it's OP.
Yes, it's very OP. I think if it's designed to take down big guys, it should do something like percentual damage, like, you know, cold is worse the bigger your frame is.
Did he actually say that, Ritter?
I don't know.
I feel sorry for him. He made this game, and now his connection is fucking hard with it.
He's among the few people
Ouch.
Why do we not hear his voice when he's here? Is it because he does not have a microphone, or because the bitrate is so low?
he doesn't like it. Sometimes he'll use a voice changer, but he just doesn't like to be. I guess it's some sort of antisocial thing, but I don't know. And also, I know he lives in a house where with like quite a few people in it, so whatever he says, they'll be able to hear.
Oh,
I don't know. Pierre is a hard character to get responses.
and in written form?
It is also hard. You only ever get it in written form. I mean, my job is part of the arcade circuit. Like, half of my job is talking to Pierre because it's not
So Pure is doing both projects.
oh yes, he also has another
Yeah.
We don't have time to talk, actually. That's the reason. We are lower class, or at best, middle class. Aristocratic, whatever.
And that's
Whatever it is, class. Noble class, there we go. Aristocratic class.
all done in his free time.
I suppose so.
So he doesn't go out much.
Maybe. Are you criticizing people who stay inside during coronavirus?
Oh no, I do that too.
Hoax?
I do that too. Like I actually know someone who got hit very hard by the corona what was it, policies with not going outside, and I sit here in front of my nightmare rectangle and think to myself, oh, this is great, I don't have to go outside.
Well, my condolences to this person you're thinking about, but I'm in the same area with you. It's like, screw outside. The inside's just like outside, but with AC and better.
Yes, and with internet, that's better than 5G.
Oh, absolutely, yes. But I think you are having double standards.
But why?
To pure extreme here in his being inside. Oh, Dorita, where are you? And
Hello there.
yo, seems like we went without app and Dorita.
No, I'm not there.
Oh, you're not.
I'm tired.
Doppelstandard.
I cannot have double standards, you know why? I don't have any standards at all. That's how I can watch everything. I can consume.
Yes.
Are you familiar with the aphorism? Do you know what an aphorism is?
Of course, I know.
Are you familiar with the aphorism? Don't ask questions. Just consume product and get excited for the next product.
Yes, like you have already said it like 3 times.
Oh, okay, that's good. Wait, you don't know what
I knew it before.
Oh, what do you know?
Funny Jump. Funny Jump, which is my internet meme platform of choice. FJ. Oh, you mean the picture with Consume? Yeah, the black and white soy boy guy. Just Consume, get ready for the next product. Don't ask questions.
Okay, I'm not a black and white silver guy. That's certainly not what I mean.
Where did it originate from?
It originated from a parody podcast known as the Nerd Group, which is known by Red Letter Media for the Harry Potter movies and the prequels, where they were doing podcasts where they were doing a parody podcast. Are you familiar with the lighter? Basically, I did a parody of the lighter and some other podcasts that were very Collider because the parody was so effective and hilarious.
What killed me so fast?
I had quad damage.
Oh.
I just found it on Google Images. I searched Paul van Oberstein.
Go on. Once it was high class, but now it is middle class. When it was new. Can you tell me how objectivity works? Thank you, man. Same. Oh, that note is slightly better.
Still higher.
Well, we say it's exponentially better, but if x is less than 1, then even the exponential is worse than what it was before.
Dios is badly written, Death Note is not. But I shall move on. Michael Bay Transformers.
The first part was kinda okay, but then, I mean, the first part was at least something new, but low class. The first one was middle class, all others after that were low class.
Harry Potter.
What?
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter?
Potter.
Oh. I actually really like the movies as like children's movies, but I hate the entire cult that grew around it, so I'm going to say it's trash here. Yes. And there's trash class, and then there's scum class. The lowest.
Harry Potter's scum class.
No, Harry Potter's trash class. Yes.
That means some titles that I think would fall under your scum, like the scum category. See if you think so. My Little Pony.
I mean, it's made for children, so well,
In grade school.
for children, it's in the middle class, but for grown-up human males, scum class. No, I have met one, but never known one.
Have you
Lucky.
I mean, like, what the fuck? Bronies just wanna fuck tiny horses. That's
have you known bronies?
Luckily not.
How about you, sister?
why together on me?
Because you're 2 points.
You're fat.
6 out, do you know any bronies?
No.
Have you almost known?
Oh, Steve Universe. That's trash here. And I haven't seen it. Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's just random. What can I say?
Okay, you're actually here, but not
What?
You're actually here, but not supposed here.
Yes.
My Hero Academia.
Oh, that's like mid tier. Like, it's nothing special. It's nothing bad. Okay. The fan base is horrible, especially the TikTok fan base. Yeah. Yeah, everything. If there is a fan base for something, and these people also go on TikTok, then it must be horrible.
Like K-pop.
Hi, Dave. When we were kids, we had standards.
Yes.
Now they're just stands.
Everything that children know today is copy things from Google and lie and try to get internet fame without ever getting it.
Why? That's weird. What else do we have? Avatar Legend of Korra.
No.
What do you mean? No, you just no, that's not a tier.
It's pretty low tier. It's enjoyable. It's enjoyable low tier.
Okay. Tokyo Ghoul.
Ooh. Apple likes it one.
Mushroom, what's the point?
I actually really enjoyed Tokyo Ghoul when it first came out. But again, it's one of those things that cultivated a horrible fan base. It's something between low and mid tier. Oh no, I'm biased against Attack on Titan because I love the way they told the story. And dropped it like a stupid sponge. Like, I don't need sleep, I can answers and just continued watching. So, even if it is badly written, I just enjoyed it so much that I can't be objective about it. I'm not a movie critic.
Custard Germs. Apple also likes it.
Twitter, stop saying these things that may bias your opinion.
ReZero, I did enjoy watching it, but the entire season was so disappointing. The entire first was so slow and not satisfying and horrible in that regard. No, I would have placed it mid. I would have placed it mid while I was watching it, but after finishing it, definitely low. What?
Oh. A certain magical index.
What does that mean?
There is an index that's magical and pretty well defined.
Or is it a certain scientific railgun that he's watching? Yeah. The water is uncertain in Japanese. I guess Kartoffel hasn't watched it.
Oh, I did not.
Hunter.
I haven't watched it.
Naruto.
Well, it's your pretty average shonen anime. Nothing much to say about it, but I enjoyed it when I was smaller, but it's pretty just mid-low tier. I've never seen a single episode of Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball Z.
No.
I like how you said that.
We won the war. We can say what we can how we want to.
It's sad. No, it's sad. How about One Piece?
One Piece.
I stopped after the Alabastia. Well, in the Alabastia, I stopped because it became unbearable with the amount of fillers.
Yeah. It's the slowest anime I've watched ever.
I actually did.
Look at that! Look at that above you! Look at that! I shot the nuke to attack you instantly, and then everybody caps and caught the nuke! So it saved you! You
Are you frustrated?
Yes, I am frustrated. Oh, what is this nonsense? Probably the second time this has happened in my life.
Oh, you're frustrated.
Yes.
Well, my calculations show that no one cares.
I care.
Full Metal Alchemist.
Pokemon.
Pokemon. Nah, it's low tier. It's enjoyable, but it's low tier.
It's not even a teens anime, it's a kids anime.
It's an anime. It's just made for one thing: putting children in front of the TV and having them busy, while you can, I don't know, fuck your wife or something.
Have you seen Digimon Tamers?
I've never seen a single episode. Did you? Never seen it. Not seen.
There's a lot of up there. A lot. Mr. Facade. Yes, not.
No,
If you've seen the movie Akira,
yes, I have.
where would you put it?
Right. It inspired so much in pop culture.
I think it's high tier.
Yes, it is high tier. It inspired so much.
Wait, what?
You told me you didn't really like it.
Did I?
I'm pretty sure you have. That your opinion was not favorable to it.
I don't think you remember correctly then.
What did you do after
I said, you were the one that refused to watch it. I recommended it. That's why I remember.
I know you told me I don't say you should watch it just because of the historical,
Yeah.
I know it's not really it's kind of
Alright, how about Angel Beats?
Enjoyable, but trash.
Have you seen the Fate series?
I've tried to enter the Fate series once, and I'm not trying again.
You're missing out.
No, I'm not. Thing is, you are suffering with the Fate series, and you want me to suffer too, so that you won't suffer alone, and I will not fall for this bullshit.
Wait, how do you think Friday into it?
I watched Fate Stay Night, and I did not like it.
Worst one.
No. I don't even know what a saber is.
Class. One of the classes.
It's a class, I've had it to load here.
No, it's the best class.
Wasn't nice. What? No. No, of course I did not. Well, at that point in the story, what you gonna do? Like,
It's not important.
wait. Erased. How was the main character a pedophile?
See a child.
I thought he was a little boy at the time. Well, that's the question. If you really had...
Hold up! I'm not finished making my point. If he's attracted to a little girl based on his biology, he should. If he's not a pedophile, be like, isn't it kind of sick?
But didn't you act on it?
Hold up, I'm not bloody done. Shouldn't he have reflected and said to himself, hey, isn't it weird that I'm, or even question, like, should I be attracted to this little girl? Should I let myself feel this way? Or, like, he didn't given he was an otaku loser, I
But-
can understand why it would be.
Look at it like that. Was it relevant for the story for him to reflect?
Yes,
Why?
because we as an audience viewer should be sympathetic towards Satoru and what he's doing. But it's kind of hard to do if he's a pedophile, because being a pedophile makes you a very hard person to sympathize with.
Did he act on his wait? Was it actually an issue for anyone who watched it? Was it actually an issue for anyone who watched? Or,
Yes.
I never, it never crossed my mind that he actually is a pedophile.
Yeah, well, for people who recognize it, it becomes an issue. I mean, it's just
Well, yeah, I can understand that's an issue if you like recognize it.
yeah.
I don't consider it that way.
Well, that's because you're a pedophile. How do you like that? You know, why you're not black and you're not voting for Biden?
Well, I give it the benefit of the doubt that that it actually didn't cross the mind of himself.
Just because
I've seen this happening.
the manga is ignorant about how bad their writing is doesn't mean the writing gets a pass for being bad. It also might mean the manga is pedophile and stuff. As some are known to be.
Isn't pedophilia normal in Japan?
That's an incredibly racist statement, by the way. But I
Yes,
feel it's
no. It took until 2013 to ban it.
That's because it was just so obtusely insane. I don't have a law against
I mean, like, obviously you cannot outlaw pedophilia. Like, there are still people who are pedophiles.
No, right, next topic.
Like, yeah, we will just outlaw your psychological sickness.
Yes, it's illegal to have that. So we're gonna throw you off of a roof, just like in Iran.
Like, yeah, I'm sorry, it's illegal to be bipolar, so now you will get the electric chair.
Yeah,
What?
it's definitely to promote social progress. By social progress, I mean conservative values.
You know what happens if you just try to lynch everyone who is different?
I'm sure you are familiar with
Okay, so if you're like, kill this, kill that, they will be hidden in someone's basement.
Oh, see?
And when they are hidden in someone's basement, it's just a matter of time when they will start to plot against you and commit atrocities.
You're familiar.
So, and it's not illegal to be a Nazi because it's okay to think anything, whatever you like. It is, however, illegal to say Sieg Heil out loud in a public space, or do the Hitler Gruß.
You see, I don't think it's really fair for people with mental illnesses who identify as Nazis to be penalized for carrying out their Nazi duty. So I think Germany is a backwards country like Iran. How do you like that?
I don't really care whatsoever. Since Merkel is in power, what can I say about Germany? Like, yeah, okay. I am not really that proud to be part of this country. Our politics is doing a horrible job.
Really?
The people are very frustrated with the current state Germany is run.
That's good.
We are at a very weird combination of bureaucracy and technological advancement when it's about important things like taxes and your identity. Doing anything with the institutions. Doing anything with the institutions in Germany is a fucking hassle. the middle class is not cared for, it's horrible.
What do you think about Merkel?
She isn't bad, but she isn't good either. She's like stagnation become a person. What? No, you don't throw people off the roof. That's not nice.
Are you being racist against Iranians?
Wait, weren't Iranians the ones who threw homosexuals from roofs? Oh, well.
What if they survive?
You threw them again.
You're double jeopardy.
Yes. Alright, I'm looking for anime. And let me see.
There are many people who hate Angela Merkel and want very bad things to happen to her. But I'm not one of them. She's gay.
How do you know? Maybe she just identifies as straight so she doesn't get oppressed.
You don't get oppressed for being gay in Germany.
Are you sure about that? The gay prime minister of Germany? See?
But there are many gay people in Germany.
But not prime ministers.
But we don't have prime minister.
We had a lot of black slaves in America, but they were oppressed. Okay,
But
sorry.
we have no prime minister.
President, I don't care. Whatever your interest is. Look at your trumpets. It's the same
Oh,
thing.
there are actually two people who kind of fit the bill. Well, Merkel is not the most powerful person in Germany. Well, there is the Bundespräsident and the Bundeskanzler. The Bundespräsident is the one who rules over parliament, the one with the actual judicial power. And then there is the Bundeskanzler, that's Merkel. That's technically just like that, what the Queen is for England with a little bit of political power.
I thought it was the other way around.
Oh, no.
The president was.
Merkel is the head of her party. She has something to say, but it's the entirety of the party who has actually anything to say. We don't have one person with their hand directly over the big nuke button, like you do.
Yes. Know your place.
And the average German thinks about Donald Trump like him sitting in his White House office with two big red buttons, and one fires all the nukes and the other one summons his hairstylist or something. No, the average German does not work hard. Just look at me, I don't work hard, and I'm an average German.
Trump would call the Germans very fine people.
I know some Germans. Germans are very fine people. The Berlin Wall has already fallen. What? No. Well, if there was anyone who smashed the wall down, it was what was he called? He played a role in the SpongeBob movie.
David Hasselhoff? Hasselhoff?
Yes, David Hasselhoff.
Oh, David Hasselhoff.
Yes, well, David Hasselhoff. And if there's someone who smashed the wall, it was David Hasselhoff.
Really?
Yes.
Where?
You've been looking for freedom.
Listen, America, Ronald Reagan was there. And recorded the wall brick by brick. That's what I was taught. I think that should happen.
No.
Yeah.
No. Ronald Reagan did not fly over to Germany to destroy the wall with his, like, I don't know, wrecking cock or what you call it.
There's a video. Ronald Reagan is like at the wall. Just the shot. Tear down this wall.
Take this, communism! Oh, you're showing me it with plasma. Finally, some plasma instead of cryo. What was the incentive for adding plasma, for adding thermal weapons like cryo and flamethrowers?
See, some idea.
I mean, I do believe that whenever you add a weapon, you add it not because it's a cool idea to add it, but because there is a specific gameplay niche that could be filled. Like, you know, like that this weapon is actually needed in a unique way.
Yeah, Flame had that, but then it got nerfed, which is unfortunate. It was.
What did it do?
Broken, I agree, it's broken.
What?
It's broken.
What did it do?
Did you read all the arguments I posted back then?
Yeah, I read all the things. I didn't find anything that I did not find convincing. Which is why it was nerfed.
Yep. It shredded shields.
Now, it shredded HP. Well, if you combine flamethrower with block, it just shredded HP like a lance whip. If you would like cryos and like a little bit like
How is thermal damage different to kinetic and explosive damage? Explosive damage was also absorbed by shields.
It's different.
Yeah, AoE explosive was absorbed by shields, not the direct.
Let's see if you see this more French anyway. Those tasters all you need.
Plasma's hot. Oh, I can finally see it. Yeah. Which one?
Little sisters all you need.
I don't know that.
The Promised Neverland.
Oh, I saw that one. It was wonderful.
Oh, I'm glad.
See, you need to watch it.
I did
That's
watch
not
it.
even.
It made no sense.
No, you lie.
Well, they tried to escape because it doesn't matter. Freedom is freedom. But you should never die standing beneath freedom. It's not but they're just children. They should not have to live. To be honest, they were smart, yes, but they were not.
They study every day so their brains could be eaten.
I understand how I can accept that they're impossible, no problem. But it's just that they are impossible, they are like incredibly dumb and
Everyone can do errors, like when they forgot the teddy.
I understand that they can like do errors, but there are some things that are just so like they're so beyond the pale. Like I cannot reasonably believe that. Also, when they realize that they just it is like it is like blinded to spread. They just like oh we left the teddy bear there. Oh here's one. How did the kids get away from under the property? Because in all they started running away as the demon was looking under the truck. And so the demon grabs the teddy bear and gives it to the mom, and the mom instantly knows that there were kids there. But does she just stand there for like 5 minutes as the kids run away? Like, does she not at all try to like look for them? And
Well, there's probably a problem in the anime, but not in the manga.
She has the tracker finger.
Alright, bye guys.
Why
Bye.
do you use the tracker to track them?
But the tracker would not tell her who was being tracked, only that there was someone being tracked.
The tracker would point to where the kids are going, and it would see that like oh all the kids except two are in this exact location.
No, that's the thing. The tracker only no thoughts. It wasn't who, it just somebody.
Like as far as I'm concerned, the tracker can choose between all the kids, and that's how the mom finds Connie.
No, she was just smart about the way she moved.
What do you mean? How does the tracker work?
The tracker in the anime worked like this. She had the device that could spot all chips, but the device could not differentiate between the different tracking chips. So every single child was just a yellow dot.
Okay, so she had the yellow dots of all the children, but it
Yeah.
didn't tell her
Which was which?
how it was who. Okay, then why didn't you pull up the tracker and then see how close they were, and then look, turn around and see the kid running away?
Well, Well, you could argue that she had not, that she didn't took the tracker with her at that time, at that point in time.
Tracker with her? Okay, then why did well, let's write the show for it. Let's do that. Let's do that as a favor. Write the favor to the show that she would be the tracker. Why didn't she just turn around and look to the only possible direction that if there were kids there, how they would escape?
Well, at first, how would she know how long the kids stayed there, or when exactly the kids were there, or when they ran away? And secondly, she too fears the monsters and could have been just overwhelmed in shock at the realization.
Well, Jesse, it's better because even if it's just to know.
She would try.
Don't interrupt me. If they're running, how long would they be running away for? Just check to make sure that kids running away as just recently. Maybe it's not. Like at least because if she had not, she would have seen them running away. Because the demon only started going for looking under the truck when he heard noises of these kids. And then for the second question, she was just done in fear by the demons. I would assume the demons would have yelled at her if they were so fearful and say, "Hey, find these kids, like now!" And so the first thing she would do, or even what the demons might do, is like they try to look in the direction facing toward the house, which is the direction the kids could have entered from, because that's the only available entrance for them. Because that's where the teddy bear came from. All they had to do was look in that direction and they see the kids running away. But conveniently, they're all just standing there.
I mean, and that makes sense.
What?
But what if that's just a problem in the anime and not in the manga?
Okay, that's still a problem in the anime, but how does it go in the manga?
Well, we should take a look. I mean,
Like, what are you even talking about now?
We're talking about how the kids get away from the demon and the mom after they leave the teddy bear into the truck, and why the demon and the mom, after they find the teddy bear, don't just look in the only direction the kids could run away from them.
just let me look it up. One shot.
It's chapter 1.
Yeah. The thing is, I just have to look. I just searched for Neverland, and there's so much Neverland stuff. Ah, there it is. I have it. Oh, chapter 1. Whoop, 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 whoop. No. There, where's the teddy bear? Wait. There's the monster. I smell something and he's looking under the truck. Oh. Yes, the time axis is a little bit different in the manga. At that point where the monster is looking under the truck, they are already on the run and behind a hill where they cannot be seen by them.
Oh, well, that's fantastic. What was he smelling?
Probably what's left, like, I don't know, a fart, and it took like half a minute to reach them because of the wind.
If the kids farted, then why didn't the demons or the mom hear it?
Because it was a silent fart.
Oh, why didn't it show us them farting?
No, there was no fart, but it's chronologically a little bit different in the manga, and they just fucked it up in the anime.
Okay, that's fine, but like, what's the demon smelling? Because, like, you could say the teddy bear, but the problem with the teddy bear is that the only smell the teddy bear would have is the smell of Connie, because Connie was the one smothering the teddy bear.
The thing is, in the manga, there is no sound and there is no teddy bear.
What do you mean there's no teddy bear? What did they bring?
In the manga, there is no teddy bear.
Ritter, isn't there a teddy bear in the manga?
No. the demon is like, oh, I smell something, and he's looking under the truck, and the next thing we see is that Emma and whoever the other one was are just behind the next hill.
I remember Teddy Bear.
Yeah, but there's like however you want to say it. In the story, the reason that the mother knows.
Oh, no. The teddy bear comes a few pages later. They finally found it, but much later.
But they found the implications. They found it under the truck, right?
Yeah.
They leave the teddy bear then.
Well, it was found under the truck, but not in this. But not before the children ran. So it makes more sense in the manga, but it's even more fucked up chronologically.
Really? I don't
because,
understand exactly how. Explain.
Well, it works like this. The demon smells something under the truck and looks under the truck. Then we see the children running away already at the house. And then we see the demon and the mother, or what it was called,
Yeah, the mom.
with the teddy bear.
Well, that also happens in the anime, except that we see the demon. I think we see the demon get the teddy bear, and then it cuts to the kids running, and then it cuts to it shows them arriving at home, and then we get back to seeing as the last shot of the episode, we see the mom freaked out that the teddy bear was there.
Yeah, but it's still so, like time skippy, where they just run away, you know what I mean?
Well, that's kind of like, I mean, of course I know what I mean. That was my main critique. But like, I have to assume I would assume most reasonably that the demons took the teddy bear and then gave it to the mother. It's like, here, look, the kids were here. You're screwing up, mom. And then she was like, oh snap. And she had that terrified face because she was like, I done screwed up. And then I guess she just stood there. And didn't look at all. So I guess then it would make what makes more sense is harder. Is it that the demon
it would make sense.
Teddy bear, or
it would make sense because this mother was known for being very perfect, and she herself prized herself with never making an error. So the realization that she actually did an error just struck her out of nowhere.
For 5 minutes, she just stood still in shock.
Yes.
You never did?
I don't buy that for 1 second. If anything, she would be motivated to do everything she could to find the children, to make sure, if they were still there, that she could grab them before they got back to the house. At the very least, she should try to identify them so she doesn't have to play this game where she tries to show the kids that she has this tracking watch in order to skip whatever her
children are so smart and fast.
Here's how I see it. The mother could not admit to the demon that the children might have seen them, because in that case it would mean she messed up and she could have been replaced and eaten.
That's not what happened in the show. Because even if she didn't want to admit that, well, number one, she was literally holding the teddy bear, and she was shocked, and so it was clearly evident to the demons what had happened, and even by her own admission, she realizes what happened. And in the next chapter, we see how she shows her pocket watch and attempts to warn the kids, or intimidate the kids, like, "Hey, I'm onto you." So there is she knows that she done screwed up and that the kids were there. Because she knows there's no way the teddy bear could have got there by itself.
Yeah, so but the demon doesn't.
What was that?
The demon doesn't.
The demon doesn't know. Oh yeah, the demon doesn't know that. But clearly she, clearly that the demon, didn't let her. Well, I think this whole line of thought is just kind of dumb because there's no way that the demon would be like, oh, yeah, the teddy bear, it just teleported here. Haha. And even the mom's reaction to just holding the teddy bear of utter shock, there's no way the demons wouldn't have noticed. Like, it's the way the show frames it, it's that her and the demons know that kids know about what they're doing now.
Yeah, but they just don't care because it's a farm of children that can always be like set up new. It would just be like, okay, if harvests would what's it called, when it doesn't happen, but it was scheduled to happen, but then it doesn't.
I mean,
And
it's not,
you harvest.
you can tell me, but I think it's important that that their current harvest doesn't all their work go to waste. Like, I would assume that's the case. Which is why the mom, or in part, the mom is so shocked about how the teddy bear is there and how, grave it is that the teddy bear, or that their operation found out.
Anyone here is interested in not being spoiled about the story of this anime manga?
It's
Okay, great. The thing is, the world of Promised Neverland is kind of built in a little stupid way due to the nature of the monsters.
Imagine that.
Because the monsters have the trait that they imitate the structure of what they eat, and if they don't eat, they go back to their primitive, stupid, non-thinking, like, bacterial stage. So they are interested in eating very intelligent humans, so that they themselves stay intelligent.
Yes.
Ooh, I didn't know. I stopped watching at the end of when after season 1 of the anime.
And the worst thing about the wilderness is filled with primitive monsters which are just roaming with uncontrollable speed over the lands and eating everything that they can find.
So is the wilderness everything that exists outside the walls?
Yes, this is kind of where the children are going accidentally.
Okay.
And they are big and scary and stupid and very fast.
Okay. I wonder how the kids big brain them to death. Or I guess survive. Is the Promised Neverland done as a manga?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And its end is weird.
Okay, though, I guess never mind.
And the world is separated in a human world and a monster world, but there are humans for consumption in the monster world, and there are high-tech weapons against the monsters in the human world, and there is an agreement that the human world and the monster world, that they don't fuck with each other because they kind of need each other because of the strange king of the monsters who lives in a parallel dimension where you have to fly with a dragon to reach him.
Now you understand why I kind of doubt the quality of this story.
I had a feeling it would be as great when after they escape Quake. I saw where the series was going. I was like, nah.
That's interesting. Okay. So I'm scrolling back through my initial post of all of my questions I had. They're mostly pertaining to episode 2.
You probably did not expect this, the outcome of this entire conversation, did you?
Oh no, I was hoping for it. Whenever I talk about the quality of anime or whatever, I hope that there's a lengthy conversation that follows. But usually there's not. Okay, so
I just killed it.
No, this is fantastic. I'm revisiting my critiques. How did Connolly forget about her doll if she's like so attached to it? And how did
Dressed.
everyone forget tell her
They
about
saw a fucking monster.
No. I mean, like, when the mom was taking her from the orphanage or whatever to go with the demons, Connolly didn't bring her doll. That's
Gone
why.
be stupid.
I don't care. I mean, first of all, somebody should have. Well, she loves that blood. I don't care if she's stupid. She's like cognizant, and she loves everybody, and she loves her doll. So how she would be taken away forever without her doll? Like,
Because
I
it
don't.
was
Not to
everything
mention
was so new, and she was so nervous, and she would finally get adopted, and yay, parents, and you know.
Well, apparently, if that was the case, then why did? If that was so obviously the case, then why did Emma and Norm try to bring her the doll? If it wasn't if it was known not to be precious to her anymore?
Well, why would they know?
Because Connolly didn't bring it with her. Apparently, according to you, like, oh, Connolly didn't bring it because
She
he's like
forgot it.
moving on to the next chapter of
Oh,
her life or whatever.
I implied that she forgot it because of all of that.
So she forgot this doll that even though Connolly's been set up as a character who loves like her relationship with people and would never forget any one of them after she left. And she really loves her doll. She forgot her doll, who she treats as a person.
Okay. So look, like you need your smartphone wherever you go, but you have forgotten it sometimes.
I don't love my smartphone in like that kind of way.
Oh, until you lose it.
I've lost my smartphone before, but luckily I have found my iPhone. Like it's a bit distressing, because it's a valuable object, just monetarily speaking, and it would be very inconvenient to have to replace it.
You have an iPhone?
Like, she loves her doll, like she loves a person, if not even more so.
You have an iPhone?
Yeah, I have an iPhone.
So why would I take any of your criticism as valid?
Because my criticism is objective, and my iPhone, my connection to my iPhone is subjective.
Are you an apple tart?
No, because I use Windows and I'll never use a Mac. Because Mac is awful.
Well, but if you're not going the full route with iCloud and iPads and Macs, and why an iPhone?
Because I'm familiar with the iPhone. I don't like the Android interface, and I hope one day I'll be able to jailbreak my iPhone. Because it's new.
Well,
I used to jailbreak that, but then
what about that?
Yeah.
The Samsung is superior. You know why?
Why?
Because it's from Korea.
I like it.
But yeah, I don't buy how Connolly forgot this doll that she loves. And how when she was saying bye to everyone, that I'll never forget you all, I love you all.
You know why this entire anime and everything that happens is shit? Why? Because she forgot the doll at the beginning.
This is just one critique, because this is forgetting the doll is a major plot point to catalyzing the rest of what happens. Like, if she didn't get the doll, then nothing that happened would have happened.
Yeah.
As far as we're aware. So,
but as far as we know, for a very long time in the past, nothing happened too. So it was a matter of time that some generation of those orphan hedge kids would just get the incentive to start this chain reaction for the plot to make everything develop.
Fine, but why did it have to be because the girl forgot the doll that she loves? Like, I have a little sister, right? And she used to be really attached to this one little animal she had. And I know what it's like. Like, and this girl is like twice as bad as my sister was, maybe even 3 times as bad in her affection toward the relationship she has with like her stuffed animals. And like,
I mean,
of course my sister grew out of it, but still.
The size of a rocket has been determined 2,000 years ago by how big a horse's ass is.
All right, well, let's move on then.
Wait, you know the story, or should I elaborate?
I don't know the story.
Oh, that's sad, because there once I don't know exactly where, somewhere in America, no, not in America, somewhere in Europe, they started a rocket. And to transport this rocket, they had to get it to the launching location. They had to get it through a tunnel. This tunnel had a specific width, and this width was determined by how large the rails were that went through the tunnel. However, the rails were the size of the rails was determined far in the past by the first wagons that should have that should have driven on them, and these wagons were exactly the size of the old Roman wagons, which size were determined by two horses who would pull the wagon. So very big chain of events over 2,000 years. Why would it start like this and end like that? We don't know. It just happens, and there are hundreds of children in this universe who had experienced some kind of story, and we are happening to view the story of exactly these children where this strange circumstance happened. A Fermi paradox.
All that she loved. And how is this related to that? Like you could just justify any, like I could literally say the reason why she forgot the doll is because aliens made her forget. And it's like, well, it was just a strange occurrence story that we're watching. And I can just justify any contrivance just by saying, oh, you see, it just happened to be. It's really strange.
Yes,
and
that's how things work. Sometimes things just happen.
What was that, Ritter?
Sometimes things just happen.
I mean, yes.
You have to be born.
That's,
you know why?
Why?
Because your parents did something.
Yes, but that's not an applicable analogy in this.
Mhm.
If we want to, like,
before that and before that, until you reach nothing, and that just happens.
LOL.
Yeah, yeah, evolution is so badly written because things just happened out of nothing.
I think you're trying to divert from the point. We're from a cartoon girl forgetting about her doll to bloody evolution. I think we've gone too far.
Come on. Like, she just forgot her doll. Constantly. People are constantly forgetting things that are important.
No. This doll, her affection for other people, or she perceived to be people, was like portrayed as being the most out of like anybody in the orphanage, except maybe Emma, but probably even more so than Emma. And she loves this doll. I could understand if it was just like a random day where they were playing a game or whatever, and she usually brings her doll with her, as she usually does, and she forgot, like, oh, I forgot my doll. It's like, okay, I can understand that. But like, when it is the final, when it is the time where you have to gather all of your valuable possessions because you're leaving forever, that doll is on the top of the list for this girl. So how she would just forget it does not make any sense.
But you're still talking about this doll as if she couldn't socially function without it.
No, I didn't say that. I did not say that at all. I just said this is her most, one of, if not her most valuable possession. And so when she's packing to leave forever, you would think that would be near or at the top of the list.
Maybe.
Okay, well, let's move on. So my second point was about how did the kids manage to slip away from the demons? We talked about that. Number 3. So like, why did they leave, or how did they leave the doll there? Like, I can, like, if they are like, sure, they could have dropped it initially because they're terrified. But if they were not terrified enough to be incapacitated to be able to escape without detecting or being detected by the demons before they could escape, then surely at least Norm, who is established as a super genius, would realize that if they left the doll there, then it would be evidence that they would that they were there. And in fact, he even tells Emma in the next episode, like, hey, we left the doll there, so they know that some kids were there. So at the very least, if they were of sane enough mind to escape quietly, and carefully, as they've had to do apparently to actually escape from that, then why was it not within their mental capacity to get the doll as well before they
Well,
left?
my dear Watson, it becomes apparent that it is empirically proven in this universe that children frequently forget dolls.
Why?
Because the writing said so.
Okay, well, we can move on. Screw the writing. Okay, so here's another point. So when the kids return home, here's a part where they are incredibly dumb. When the plot needs them to be. So when they come home, and Ray is like welcoming them home, and he asks, "Hey, how'd it go?" And they say, "Oh, we didn't get to return the doll or whatever." And they don't have the doll, with them. Why does Norm and Emma, and especially Norm, who's supposed to be a super genius, not realize that if he comes home without the doll and they say that they didn't deliver the doll, that it would be obvious that they were lying or that something else was going on? As Ray points out in the next episode, where Ray was like, "Hey, you came home without the bloody doll when you said you didn't return the doll." And it's like, wow.
That is because Norm the super genius had another plan in the back of his mind, which just could be cultivated because he was tolerating all this shit from the other children, and somewhere in like episode 7 or 8 or something, it becomes apparent that he has planned much more and done much more in the background than you actually thought.
Really?
Yes.
Like
Yes.
what? Why did he not? Why did he not like? Why did he think he could trick, quote unquote, trick Ray into thinking that they actually did not? Like, what was his plan?
Because it was easier to control Ray when he thought that he was outsmarting Norm.
And Ray doesn't see how. Actually, I'll say this. Why does Ray like? I get like why does Ray not question that? I guess you could say it's because Ray was like, "Oh, I'll just deal with this later," because like I recognize instantly that they don't have the doll. But like, you would think if Norm was so smart and that Ray was also like as smart as he was, because Ray's shown to be like also like really like number 2, then if these kids can be so impossibly smart, then to think like this far ahead when they're like bloody 11 years old, then why shouldn't Ray suspect that with such a deliberate misguidance that why wouldn't Ray suspect that he was being manipulated by Norm? Because in this world where these kids are turbo geniuses, that number one, yeah, why would like Norm suspect such like a contradiction of apparent reality?
You would never expect someone.
And yet be enough to trick Ray. And number 2, how did Emma, who presumably was not in on Norm's grand scheming, not realize how problematic it would be to claim that they were unable to deliver the doll, but not come back with the doll and tell them that we were not able to deliver it?
Because she was not that smart.
She got a perfect score on the test, and in the beginning of the second episode, she's shown to be very smart, as DeRitter pointed out to me.
Yeah, but she's like the kind of smart that only is really intelligent once they sit down and actually think about it. Like she never.
When the plot is when it's convenient for the plot to
Yes.
make the character smart.
It's different kinds of smarts.
When the plot demands it. Oh, she won't think about it when the plot needs her to be ignorant. But when the plot needs her to be smart, they'll have her sit down for some arbitrary reason and then be like, "Oh, I figured it out this time because I need to figure it out now."
Huh.
They could have given the doll to Mama in theory, right?
Well, the mom was already they were going to the direction that the mom was, and none of the demon and the mom weren't there. So they arrive and they find Connolly's dead body inside the truck, and so they hide because they know if they're spotted there that it will be believed that they found out about the dead Connolly, and then they will get probably dead themselves in the same manner.
No, I'm saying that Ray theoretically could have thought that they delivered the doll to Mama, but not to Connie.
Okay, like okay,
Like-
I see what you mean. I see what you mean, but like, then why does Ray in the next episode come to the exact same conclusion I did, and be like, why did you return without the doll? Because Ray calls them out for that.
Okay, so no idea.
Yeah, 'cause for whatever reason, I'm not sure exactly, but like I came up with the distinct impression that that Norm was telling Ray that, hey, you know, we didn't get the doll, like we weren't able to deliver the doll. Also probably because since the mom didn't return, they figured she was still busy doing Connolly stuff. Because Ray was there.
Can you provide on the let's go. Let's just go away from Promised Neverland. But can you provide an example of very, 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 very good writing that makes absolutely no plot holes and errors like you are pointing out?
Have I seen? Well, I can think of I can make a really short story without any plot holes or plot errors. There's a movie that takes, I forget the name of the movie, but it's like the whole movie is just two people in a room. And it's very basic. There are no plot holes or plot errors. And there are certain movies that are like completely airtight, or certain TV shows probably. Oh, the TV shows probably less likely because it's just longer runtime. I would say there are probably, well, I don't want to say that actually.
I mean, I would like to hear an example that's more complex than just two people sitting in a room.
Why?
Like, are there no plot holes or errors in, for example, Death Note?
I would argue that there aren't. At least in the manga, you might be able to argue it with the in the anime, maybe. There are alleged plot holes and stuff. I would say in Full Metal Alchemist, there's not a plot hole. There are some contrivances, but I've been able to identify a plot hole in the original FMA. I'm not sure if you'd say in Galactic Heroes if it's a plot hole or not. The way they fight is largely two-dimensional, when there's like 3 dimensions of space to work with, but they never address that fact. So I'm not sure if you want to call it a plot hole or just like an unexplained mechanic. I think there's one thing in Galactic here. Well, I guess you could say a plot hole is how dumb the Alliance is in one scenario. So, like, there's a dude who were in the plot, like they capture this political prisoner and they intend to trade him, but very conveniently there's this rope inside this cell where this dude's being held, and so he hangs himself.
Get fucked.
Yeah, and it's kind of I consider that kind of a plot hole, because there's no way that the faction who's holding him would be that stupid. Based on like what we're informed about their intelligence. So I wouldn't say Galactic Heroes is like plot holeless. Like, my problem with Neverland is that once the plot starts going, it's just like the plot errors just like start to compound in a way that it becomes very predictable about like what type of story it's going to go for, and how it's going to use nonsense in order to further its narrative. Now, I didn't even get to episode 2, which, if I recall correctly, I even have like a myriad of problems with in comparison. Well, Do I? Maybe. I have more written about episode 2. But like I think of course plot holes are bad, but I think there's like more to stuff than just plot holes.
I mean, the thing is, if we're really going about how stupid some plot holes can be, I mean, if you would take, for example, reality and put it next to the things like from that we have from literature, I mean, in reality, there are sometimes plot holes where you would think, hey, why didn't this happen like X, Y, and it's some stupid personal reason of some person or their fucking fetishes or whatever.
Well, hold up, it's not a plot hole. See, the plot hole is an error in logic. Unless you believe that logic is not a reliable
it is reliable enough
indicator of or whatever of reality or determinant of however you want to phrase it, because that's the problem of a plot hole. Now you could say there are, if you were to take a real life story and say, wow, there are a lot of contrivances here because it looks like, you know, this person makes this decision that significantly makes the story being told a lot more engaging, or at least it would be if it wasn't so contrived. That's why like real life stories can be like really engaging, because if it really happened, then you can't dispute how contrived it sounds, because your suspension of disbelief is not broken, because there's no suspension of disbelief involved with real life events.
You know, in the 2020 world we live in now, I think we're in a badly written story, actually.
I mean, maybe, but it would be for other reasons. Do you want me to talk about episode 2? About what things I found there?
Well, do one thing, the worst thing.
Okay, let me find it. Like, my point is, like, in the first episode, right? It's mostly set up about who the characters are, what world they live in, and whatever, until the whole Connolly thing happens, where she's being taken away. That's when like the plot gets going, like the actual plot. And then when the plot gets going straight off the bat, there are some like major issues with the plot. So it's like, okay, so now that we've got all of the non-plot out of the way for the premise, when the plot starts, it's just like it has like a lot of holes relative to the what's actually happened. It's like, okay, kind of like Akudama. Anyway, so let me find my greatest, or I'd find it my greatest critique. It's also kind of hard because some of them I dislike more, even if it's not big of an issue. Oh, here's LOL. Let's see. These like paragraphs long. Okay, brought that one up. I really did not like the end of the second episode, but I wouldn't say it's the dumbest part of it. I would say maybe like the dumbest part of it, well, the most contrived is like, remember when the crying kid comes to the mom, and the mom uses it as an opportunity to show off the tracker in order to find the kid that was lost in the woods or whatever, who was found sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so how does that kid who was crying and told the mom about all that not notice when the only other person who was traveling with them inside, quote unquote, the woods, is just not beside them anymore? Like, surely, well, number one, surely the crying kid would have stopped hearing the footsteps of that other kid when they stopped walking with them. Number two, wouldn't the crying kid hear the sleeping kid fall down as they fell asleep?
What? Nah.
And also, if you're gonna fall asleep while you're just like walking in the woods or whatever with the other kid, then like, how do you not conclude? Like, how are you not showing signs of being sleepy? Like, how does that crying kid not conclude that the reason
Why would
why?
the other kid care?
Hold up, I'm not done. Hold up, I'm not done. Why would the crying kid not conclude that the other kid stopped keeping up with him because the other kid fell asleep while they were out together? Because I would imagine if you're tired enough to fall asleep while being walking around in the woods, that you are continuously dozing off because you're that sleep deprived.
Well, first of all, children notice some things and they don't notice some other things. So, well, maybe the other child was just so over the top, like, this is so cool. We are in this forest, and look what's there. There is a butterfly. There is a beautiful flower, and then they were maybe very in deep thought about those things that they were seeing and doing, and suddenly they look around and they are alone and scared and run off to mother and are like, he's gone and I don't know what to do and help me. And then they search for them and they were just lying there.
Wouldn't that child try to? Well, first of all, that child, I'm pretty sure by the conversation with the mom, is that kid tried to look for that other kid. But like, how long do you have? Like, well, first of all, where could the sleeping kid have gone? Like, the sleeping kid is probably sleep deprived, and they can fall asleep while walking in the woods with another kid. So it's not like that kid's like just like gone off and like gone playing, because I would imagine the sleeping kid probably didn't even want to be there, but that the crying kid just begged that kid to go with them, or for whatever reason. But surely the crying kid knew how sleepy the other kid was, based on the fact that if you're going to fall asleep while hiking in the woods, then you're probably drowsing off every like or you're about to drowse off every like 5 seconds.
Yeah. Stupid kid
didn't get too hard to bloody find the other kid, because it's not like they're gonna run away from someone because they're too tired to run away.
But the crying kid was a wimp, and the second it was alone, it was like, oh fuck, I have to go find mama, because what if an ugly monster comes out and eats me? Like, what kid think?
Didn't the crying kid say that he tried to find the sleeping kid, but it was unable?
Lied.
What was that?
Maybe he lied.
What?
You know, I've spent time with my nephews and they're young. And when they try to find something, they're really awful at it. And I was the same when I was small. I couldn't find shit.
Well, how old are your nephews? And like, could they find a person that they were walking with? If they
probably could.
You are pulling silk strings.
I'm pulling what?
Oh, well, it's a German saying, like, you are pulling silk strings, you're like holding on to the straws.
No, I don't think so, because this is I don't know how important it is as a plot device, but it's used as a plot device to tell the kids, to notify the kids about the existence of the tracker, which in itself is very questionable how they conclude that it's a tracker, just based on her looking at the watch, at least in the anime. But
the kids are smart.
Yeah, they're impossibly smart. They can take everything, extrapolate on it, and declare and believe that they're right, just based on their theory, and they happen to be right. So good for them. Yeah, and apparently Norm's like a turbo incredible super genius, but like well, number one, it is kind of hard to like either be scared of these kids that they're in any actual danger when they're such incredible geniuses, compared to at least what I'm told, compared to like their opposition. Like they're probably like Lelouch level genius, where they can literally predict what somebody is going to say and then record themselves responding to what they said, which is like it's like impossibly smart.
Well, the kids aren't as smart as they are made out to be in the first two episodes.
Are they
Norm,
smarter?
I mean,
Like if Norm's had this super long plan where he was like, "Oh, well, if I lie about the teddy bear, then Ray will think he's outsmarting me. That way I can control him." Um,
the
uh,
thing is, Norm's plan ultimately fails.
okay,
That makes that's what makes the last three episodes so interesting.
his plan fails. Well, I haven't even gotten that far, so I can't even comment. I can't even comment on that. But even if his plan fails, well, yeah, I can't even comment that far because I haven't even seen it. But even so, like I probably, if I were Norm, I'd probably stick to my plan too because I'm such an incredible genius. I've been right up until this point. So like, why would I be wrong again? Because I'm just so overpowered. And the plot just happens to the plot just he just happens to be wrong because the plot needs it to happen so you can have the finale. But apart from that, I don't think the sleeping kid thing is like a nitpick as you might refer to it as.
It's grasping for straws.
Yeah, I don't think that at all because like even if we can justify how this makes a lick of sense, we have to do like a significant amount of writing for the writer that they didn't do themselves, which is a sign of a problem in the writing. Like we have to assume that the kids got easily separated because the one kid, the crying kid, was so excited to be in the woods, which he probably goes to every day. So why would he be so excited about it? But whatever. In that he got so carried away by what he was doing that he got so far separated from the person who was almost as dead as Joe Biden and how much he needed to sleep because they fell asleep walking in the bloody woods. And that this kid was so bad at going literally the opposite direction, which you need to go back to anyway to get back to where they came from, probably.
You have never been trekking in the woods.
What was that?
You have never been trekking in the woods, right?
I've walked. Well, first of all, I would assume these children are very familiar with the layout of this yard that they've been imprisoned in for like however many years, and so I wouldn't imagine they would get like lost. But then this kid can't just backtrack a little bit, and he goes to the mom of all things because he's just so bad at like identifying where a person might be that he was walking with before. It's just like you have to assume this kid is like 50 IQ, except when he's talking, because he doesn't sound like a retarded person. He just sounds like a normal kid. And well, actually, he's actually supposed to be a smarter and above average kid. I'm pretty sure because like the point of this whole orphanage is to make these kids super smart or as smart as they can be, so their brains are the juiciest, right?
But like, have you ever seen how stupid kids can be? Like,
Yes, I have. And you know what? In this anime, it is not like in real life. In this anime,
only
kids can
for
be
3
incredibly
kids.
smart.
But only for 3 kids, they are incredibly smart. Only the super juicy brain boys who are
I
incredibly smart.
understand that they're incredibly smart, but like, well, first of all, the bloody orphanage is raising them all to be as juicy as they can be. So I would imagine when you have like the Pareto distribution, you're familiar with that. That if they could be so if they like these kids are probably like literally 300 IQ, like Norm probably. He probably has like the highest IQ of anyone who's ever lived. If we're being like if we're being like as least generous as possible when it comes to reality, or not reality, but like making sense of what we've been told. And then not only is Norm super smart, but also Ray is super smart, and also apparently Emma is smart enough to score 100 on the brain test. So we have 3 hyper intelligent children. I would imagine that if that's like a reasonable thing to occur, and given they're in the school of like trying to make them smart, that in this universe at least, the intelligence of children would be a lot higher than in our universe. Otherwise,
Well, we could argue about that the entire night.
what was that, Hot?
I said we could argue about this the entire night, but it is already 4 o'clock. 4 a.m. where I live.
Our night is almost over. That's what he's
So
saying.
I would really like to wrap it up.
Okay, let me just you can have the closing statement, but let me just like finish listing my points for this episode because I have a few more. So at the beginning of the episode, like, how is Emma so articulate and smart when she's shown to be a sheltered and at least relative to I guess she is supposed to be smart, but at the same time in the first episode she's kind of portrayed as like, either average intelligence or like with the whole tag game. Ray tells Emma that the reason Norm was able to beat her was because while Emma has like physical capabilities, Norm has strategy, implying that Emma has like next to no strategy or next to no brains in the way she plays tag, whereas Norm has all the brains. But then at the beginning of the episode 2, she's like so articulate in the way she comes to her deductions and conclusions, and smart when she's presented to not be that good at it. And let's see, number 3, Emma and Norm. Yeah, okay, I already got that. Some of my points are mixed. Oh yeah, why didn't the mom just ask any of the other kids who brought the doll to or last night? Because what didn't bloody multiple other kids witness that the doll was taken? I'm not exactly sure.
Well, that's a good point.
Thank you.
She knows it was them from the start, right?
No,
That's a twist later.
She knew it was them from the start. Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, she did. Yeah. Oh, how could I forget?
How did she know it was them from the start?
She just assumed it.
No, she found out somewhere at the end of episode 2 or in episode 3, because one of the 3 main children, and I believe it was Emma, accidentally said too much.
Oh, like in that confrontation with the mom in
Yeah,
the hallway?
Yeah, I think it was something like that.
What did Emma say?
I don't know. It's already too long ago and not memorable enough.
Okay, whatever. We'll just have to put a pin in that. But I would assume the genius level children who were able to deduce that the watch was a tracker would have noticed that they said something that have or at least Norm, because Norm was there listening to that conversation.
They knew that she knew.
They should have known that she knew, given the level of intelligence that they're presented to have. And then that's actually a second point, or another point, which is like after that whole conversation, Norm just comes out from the corner in the anime, like suspiciously. Like all the kids start like running into the lunchroom or whatever, and then from like the room they were in, and then out of the corner, which is not where the other kids came from, Norm came out as though he knew Emma was there all along, because he just walks out the corner like saying like, "Oh, hey Emma," which is like, to me it would be a dead giveaway that Norm was listening all along and that they were implicated in this. Anyway, but that's another point that I didn't bring up before. But like, how did the kids deduce that the watch is a tracker? The mom did nothing to calibrate its focus on that one girl or anything. She just took it out, she looked at it, then put it away. And it's like, oh, maybe she was looking at the time to see like, oh, like, the weather at the time, at least in the anime, was all stormy and dark. So maybe she knew that like the weather was what time the weather was going to be bad, and so she was just seeing how much time she had to get the kid. But no, these kids deduced that it's a tracker, and that the reason she did what she did was to show the kids that they were being tracked. Like how they come to that conclusion is just like I have no idea. Also, why did the mother let the kids stay outside when it was about to rain? Like they just all stood there waiting for her to come back, and it was like storm clouding up out there, and they were just standing there. It's like
nitpicking.
Why would I don't think it's nitpicking at all, because like that doesn't make any sense. Like I know what they were trying to do is establish a tone, but it doesn't make sense. Like why would surely you would go inside if it was storming or whatever.
I have just shown the children that this machine is a tracker, and now it starts raining for the dramatic effect.
The kids get lost more often than once, and she always looks at the clock thing, so that's how they figured it out.
I mean, she did use the entire time when she was searching for the hidden children.
I'm pretty sure it does.
It didn't say that. It didn't say that in episode 2 when the kids were talking about that. Not in the anime. It was never explained to the viewer. That's how they deduced that. And even if that was the case, that would be a huge deduction that still is not really founded. And to be like, oh yeah, it must be a tracker. Like they were sure it was a tracker. It wasn't like a potential theory. It was like, okay, there's a high likelihood this is a tracker. We should consider it as such. And then, oh yeah, later in the episode, when what was it? Oh man, I still have more stuff to say. But Bloody, Emma and Norm actually talk about it like, hey, couldn't the mother have activated the Bloody tracker to find out that it was us? Who was sneaking around at the truck warehouse place where they brought Connie.
Yeah, at the gate.
Yeah, and I forget exactly what Norm's explanation was for why that they didn't have to worry about that, but I just remember it not addressing the problem at all. Let's see. There was something else I forgot. But my biggest problem with the episode, the problem I liked the least, is like at the very end where they're all together and they're kind of desperate. Like they tell Ray about what's happening, and the situation's like, oh, it's really bad. What are we gonna do? The mom's evil, her mother's evil, they're demons, whatever. And so it goes from like that to like Emma just starts preaching about how she's gonna get everybody out of there, and she doesn't care if it's literally impossible, but she's going to get everybody out. Even after Ray tells her like, hey, we don't even know what's out there, and if we even get first of all, it isn't even possible to get everyone out here without the mom or the demon stopping us, because it's a lot of people. And number 2, even if we do get them out, we don't know what's out there. We don't know if it's just more demons, because as far as we know, it could just be demon world out there, because we see the mom interacting with the demons. And then even Ray is like to Norm, it's like, do you realize how stupid she's being? And apparently she's an intelligent character, as we're told at the beginning, or as we're shown at the beginning of the episode, but in the previous episode we're shown that she's not very intelligent, so we have like a contradiction where this Emma character is both super intelligent and not intelligent at the same time, and the writing just demands you to go along with whichever one is most convenient for whatever the plot wants to happen. And then Bloody, hold up, I'm almost done. Bloody Norm, he says, yeah, what Emma is saying is completely illogical, however, I'm going to go along with her because I love her. It's like, what? And then, in the bloody very end, Ray himself, when Norm asks Ray, like, are you going to go along with us too? And Ray's like, I guess I have no choice. Now, at the very least, I could assume that maybe Ray is just saying that because Ray plans to, once they have a plan to actually get out, he's going to be like, well, screw everybody else because they're screwed anyway. I'm getting out of here. See ya. And that's even if he a much better plan would have been if they just like sent one person out there to investigate, and then they came back and said yes, or some kind of signal that no, it's not a demon infested land, and there's no point in like leaving or whatever. Well, anyway, yeah, that was the part where I just was like, oh, because the way the whole scene is framed is you have like Norm with his like overconfident smirk with the emotional / inspirational music trying to sell the viewer on the utter nonsense as if it's some noble thing that they're doing, that we're gonna save everyone because it's the right thing to do, and we don't care if it doesn't make any sense at all. If it's impossible, we're gonna do it because we are good characters. Like,
do you ever enjoy things?
Yes, I do. But it was nonsense. I was insulted.
It's cheesy, but
No, it's not easy. That's not the problem. The problem is that it's trying to appeal to the viewer's emotion through superficial means in order to go along with the nonsense. It's being emotionally manipulative.
Well, I can tell you, Black is like watching the series and like, oh, my intelligence is so insulted by this. If I would enjoy this, that would mean I would be stupid.
No, that's not. No. That's not what That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. There's also stuff that I don't like that I'm not insulted. Like my intelligence was not insulted by anything else that happened. I was like, okay, this is like not very like. Oh, like I can see why someone thought this was fine to write with, but like the problem with this is just like so like, oh, let me like I know how much sense this doesn't make, but I'm going to emotionally manipulate you, in the hopes that you'll give it a pass based on, we're inviting you not to think, as opposed to the rest of the show where it's like, okay, we're not trying to trick you or anything. We're not trying to manipulate you. This is just our plot. But in this particular scene, they're trying to manipulate you, which is what, just to like sell the nonsense, which is what I found to be, and not even in a particularly effective way, like in Brotherhood.
Yeah, but there's just one. Well, there is one thing that's actually very important to all of this. And I know it's like really kind of stupid to say it as general as it is, but this anime, this entire storyline is in the perfect middle ground between being average and good, because it is good enough to fool the average player, viewer, into thinking that it is much smarter than it is, and it's still enjoyable for the above average consumer to be enjoyable as like trashy enjoyable. So it's like it's made to be in the perfect sweet spot of, well, we appear to be like super duper smart and interesting, but actually are kind of not. That's why it was so big. That's why it was so what's it called, vocabulary. I have it. That's why the anime got big, and why it was loved, and why you critique it so much.
I see. Well, there's this other anime I could have called Sword Art Online, and it was bad enough not to be considered good, but it was good enough to get a lot of people to really enjoy it, and that's why it became one of the most popular anime.
Yes. It was good enough to be viewed as enjoyable trash by those with a good taste, and it was bad enough to still be enjoyed by people with bad taste.
Well, you see, the problem is people with good taste don't really enjoy SAO very much. Like they might enjoy making fun of it. Maybe there are some people who watch it like, oh, it's so bad, it's good.
But that the people of today with a good taste in anime and an anime were the people who back then just explored anime.
Okay.
For example, when I watched Sword Art Online, it was one of my first animes. So there was nothing to compare it against.
Yeah,
I was
I
like,
understand
oh,
completely.
such a cool story. Poor main character. They all died, and they are inside a video game. Oh, that's so awesome. Oh, and tits, boobies, and butts.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I don't care. I mean, I care enough. I would just say that calmly. That's using like popularity as a metric for quality, which is a very subjective metric that I don't subscribe to.
I don't say that popularity um, is a measure of quality. I just say that the reason why this anime got big enough that we are probably now talking about it is because it was in the perfect sweet spot of good enough but not good enough.
Uh, I understand what you're saying. I'm not sure I would word it that way, but I
No,
can very much understand why it got popular.
it's the same reason why everyone hates on foot fetish people, because the fetish is so big that everyone knows it, but it's still so small that everyone has someone to make fun of. You know
Like
what I mean?
My Hero,
What?
the foot fetish from My Hero Academia, or are you just saying generally,
Was foot fetish in My Hero Academia?
right, Dritter?
No,
Yeah, doesn't Snob call it my gay foot fetish?
maybe.
No, but it's like known enough for everyone to have an opinion about it, but it's still so small that nobody cares.
Well, people apparently care about this show. At least as far as I'm told.
Well, apart from you trying to take it apart, I have actually never ever anyone say something heard anyone say something about it. So
Well, you see, here's the thing. Like this show, it does presentation pretty well. Like I'm not gonna lie. And so like when it comes to stuff like Sword Art Online, when you even on the face of it, like not you personally, but like you generally, people
yeah,
generally,
yeah,
when people don't like something from the get go, they're going to try to find like the reasons why they don't like something. Like for bloody Sword Art Online, which is why it's declining in popularity and it's great to hate on because a lot of people when they started watching it was like, hey, this is not nearly as good as people were saying it was, and they in their minds they were thinking about why um,
It's
they
still
felt the way they did toward it. Because even superficially, if you aren't obsessed with isekai, it's really, I guess, it's really easy to find problems with the show. But if a show is presented well and resembles a good story or form of storytelling, and you're into it at the beginning, then it's really hard it becomes much harder uh, for you to find the flaws because since you are not looking for reasons why you dislike it because you don't dislike it, then you're not really as incentivized just naturally to be thinking critically about the reasons why you're not liking it
yeah,
because
that makes sense.
yeah, you get my point. So I'll stop there.
Yeah, you will always find what you search for.
Well, I mean, that's kind of true, but even so, like, that's why discussion is so helpful because when you have multiple perspectives that you bring together, then you can reduce, hopefully, as much subjective bias um, that there is and just discuss the facts and get straight to the facts because the facts are objective and they're shared. And so when we share them, hopefully the subjectivity um, goes away as much as it can, and we can all be enlightened about the reality of the situation as to what the facts actually are.
Sword Art Online is still the number one best-selling light novel in Japan. RIP.
Oh, the thing is, the newer stuff from Sword Art Online is actually interesting.
Oh, even as like a non-isekai, whatever.
The second season with the gun girl was meh. The third season and
It's
the fourth.
considered the worst part of SEO. The second season.
Ah,
The incest. That's what Blackout knows.
Incest online. I mean, incest IRL.
I mean, currently the third and fourth season aren't really about main protagonist here who does everything perfectly. Like he sits in a wheelchair and can do nothing.
Yeah, but he still saves the day, which nullifies the rest.
Wait. What? When did he save? So the thing is, I'm at episode 11 of the last season because, well, German translation and things.
Spoilers, I guess.
Oh, so fuck. No, can't have Kira to save the day again. That's just so boring.
Always gonna save the day. He's a self-insert with the harem.
Get fucked, man.
Bad times.
Wait, so are you telling me that I just watched another 2 seasons of this crap just to have Kirito again do the fucking god's backflip?
So,
Find out for yourself.
you know, just remember the worst part of it all is that in the 2 seasons of Sword Art Online that you'll never get back of watching, you could have been watching Legend of the Galactic Heroes instead.
With every time you mention this name, I'm inclined less to watch it.
Legend of the Galactic Heroes.
Yes.
Full Metal Alchemist. Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh no.
It's time to wrap it up. So, I'm looking forward to watching it. I'm not looking forward to watching the last episode of Sword Art Online now. Thank you. But I'm still gonna do it because of the time investment. And it's 4:20. I really gotta go to bed. So, good night, guys. It was fun as always.
I'm glad. I apologize for my overbearingness sometimes, but hopefully next time when you finish Sword Art, you can also yell about how bad it is.
I apologize for ruining your fun.
Don't foreshadow the future.
I apologize. Please forgive me. I get passionate. Good night, Hot.
Good night, guys.
Gute Nacht.
Gute Nacht.
Guten. I hate anime. That's what I learned tonight. What'd you learn tonight, Gerder?
I don't know. I'm tired. Really tired.
Are you frustrated? I mean, tired? My calculation shows that no. Why are you so tired, Gerder?
It's 4 a.m.
Why is your sleep schedule so?
Because so I can play events with you.
Oh, that's so sweet, Gerder. Do you think Oberstein would approve?
I don't think he would care.
XD. I think Oberstein would care.
I'm surprised App stayed around.
I highly doubt that App's actually listening to us.
I guess not.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm doubtful. Because, I mean, listening to me is like, the only person who can listen to me, as long as I do, is like me. I don't even know how you or Sammy do it on the stream. Like when I have Monopoly over the voice. Maybe it's better, because that way I don't have to feel like I have to get control of the situation at all or whatever. I don't know. I'm just rambling now.
Yeah, I'm really tired.
What was that, Dritter?
Really tired. I have to go now.
Alright, good night, Dritter. Don't follow